Welcome back to the channel, boys and girls. Hold on, had to pause my Nipsey right quick. We're dropping the motor in today. I had figured out bell housing bolts, which we're using Allen keys, so it's easy to access if we ever need to. We got the clutch all in, pressure plate all in. All that's really left to do right now is drop this bad boy in. Before I could drop this in, the problem I'm having right this minute is the fact that the truck sits really low. My engine hoist will not be able to get under the full frame. So what now I have to do right now is jack up this truck just a little bit so then I could fit the rest of the hoist in there. Once I could fit it in there, we could slowly drop it down and fit it into place. But this is really exciting. My dad's gonna be real excited once he gets home. This thing has not ran in over a year, and we're just kind of checking things off. So super excited. Slowly going through my list. Yeah, it's gonna be real good. Super excited. That's all I really could say. Sorry guys. Now with these mounts, if you guys are doing this kind of swap, always keep your mounts kind of loose. Hold on. Which that is not exactly what I did. Bruh! I thought they were loose. They should be loose. But keep these loose. They have these little slots so you can kind of manipulate them into place, which I'm gonna get my 15 and make sure they're loose. I know this side is loose. So you want to be able to move it around just a little bit just so you could drop it in with ease. You don't have to get it so precise when you drop in the engine. We're gonna tighten that one up just a little bit. We don't want anything to happen to us, but yeah. So yeah, my engine lift is doing really well. Okay, sweet. We got that side nice and loose. But yeah, it's very exciting. Pretty much we're gonna get this in. I got the engine bay as clean as possible for the time being. I'm sure this engine may come out again, but we're test fitting and making sure everything works. And then it'll be a huge accomplishment for the day just to have this dropped in. All right guys, there's a much easier way to drop this in. Not that I'm struggling at all, but if I were to do this all over again, like if I were to start from scratch and do this like completely from scratch, I'd actually remove the whole front clip. So fenders, this whole section, the radiator, everything. I just figured, I'm pretty sure I had enough space and I measured beforehand. So it's working out right now. But if you guys are to do this on your own later in time, definitely take all of this out, all of this, and then you could just walk right in with it. All right, we're almost there. Really close. So we're making some extremely good progress, especially for only being on this. This is the third day total. Now the more technical stuff is going to happen in the next like week or so. So if you guys are dropping motors in and you've never done this before, you go very slow. All right, I got to adjust the lift so I could drop this into place, but it's really close to sliding pretty much right in, which would be really sick. Yeah, I just got to adjust the lift, the hoist back, push back into the bay just a little bit, but my thoughts were correct. We can fit this transmission in here without any kind of modification to the bell housing or to the transmission tunnel, so that's really good. But yeah, I'm gonna adjust this hoist real quick, and then we're gonna move this engine back and then drop it into place. Okay, so I gotta lift up the car some more. The hoist is actually hitting on the lower A arm, and that's why I can't go any further. There we go. All right. So, gotta jack this up so we can tilt the engine back so the bell housing goes right into the transmission tunnel. Okay, so this is the difficult part too, because I do have to transition it back, and I'm doing it by myself. Note to anybody doing this as well. If you have a partner, it's always way more helpful. All right, so let me show you guys real quick. This is what we're dealing with. The oil pan's back there. This needs to get to right here. And then, so it needs to go down, and like this to slide in place. And this is why I say, if I were to do it again, I was being lazy a little bit and I didn't want to take apart the whole front clip. I just wanted to get this done, which actually made it a little bit more difficult for me right this second. It's okay, we're almost there anyway, so it's not too big a deal, but that's what's going on. But once this goes in, everything else should be so much easier to work with. And then I got a lot more garage space again. So this is literally the most difficult part. And we're close. I mean, I got 6 inches to go. She fits like a glove, baby. Like a glove. The only thing that is kind of concerning, look at how tight this is right here. Yeah. Not even that concerning, but yeah, it's super, super close. It's right up on there. I'd like to do something about that. Maybe I'll shave like that portion of the valve cover off. And the head is really like pretty much up on there as well. Anyway, she fits nice. It is a tight fit with this Holly pan though on the cross member. Really, really tight too. So that took some finessing, but we got her in. I am gonna, you know, pick up on it just a little bit so I can fish the rest of this bolt through on the motor mount. And then I'll show you guys the underside, what it looks like under the car. But it's a tight fit. It's gonna be a tight fit everywhere other than, you know, in the bay here. This would be a good candidate for a turbo setup, but my dad definitely doesn't want a turbo setup. He wants a supercharger, so we do whatever my dad wants. All right, I set on my old truck intake that I used to run on the Z. Oh man, this thing is so pretty. Oh, this is gonna look so good, so good. This is my Hoodlum Auto intake, yeah. All right, so as you guys can tell, we still got a long ways to go, so don't get too excited yet, but we got the engine mounted in place. It looks good. We have exhaust on the way. We still gotta figure out a couple things with the suspension on this thing. We still need shocks and then possibly some aftermarket sway bars. It looked like the sway bar is not on the front. After looking at it, let me give you a look under the car real quick. This was the old exhaust. I just gotta pull this down. It's only 2 hangers. I just didn't bother because it wasn't in my way. But this next week, we gotta put in the transmission. And then we got to figure out where to mount pretty much what to do with the shifter and the linkage for the shifter. That's probably going to be a pretty good sized challenge because we're using an F body T56. So I feel like the shifter is going to be way back here somewhere. And then we got to figure out the cross member, which I might be able to use this guy a little bit. We'll see. I'm not exactly sure. Might be able to use this guy a little bit. Next up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the transmission pretty much from where it bolts to the bell housing to the shifter to see where it will line up inside the truck. We'll go just middle of the bolts. And that is a total of about 2 feet. A little bit under 2 feet. But yeah, so gonna get out of the truck, go from the bell housing to where 2 feet measures out. I'm assuming it's gonna be somewhere in here. Hopefully not back here. Hopefully. Even still, like, we gotta figure out a way to route the shifter. It may be a little bit of a sloppy shifter until we get something figured out.
It's gonna sit pretty far, guys. I am looking. It does look like we're gonna have to beat the tunnel up a little bit right in here, but it looks like it's gonna sit pretty far. Here's 2 feet right here.
It may not be actually. These bolts, no, that might work. That might work real good actually. These were the bolts. It was right in the middle. Excuse my mess. It was right in the middle, so that might work. Actually, I think it will work really good. Yeah, that might work. That might hella work because this is pretty comfortable for me. We're gonna ask my dad to see what he thinks, but I think this will work. Yeah, about right here. So right here is not too bad. I'm about 5'10", so my dad's a little bit shorter than I am. He's about 5'8", and I think this will be good for him. We'll see though. Dang, with how easy that went in, I definitely might have to pick me up one of these. Oh, like the niceness of the truck being higher off the ground than the cars is a huge deal.
Begging for your life, 'cause that's a lost cause. High stakes, body armor,